Now, the Pro Bowl conversation, whatever. Sauce Stingley is a conversation that comes up all the time. I saw people comparing them. Stingley has the interceptions. Sauce probably has the Pro Football Focus score. Didn't look. But, there's this notion that Sauce gets thrown at to less than Stingley. I saw some people putting out some information overnight that that's not really the case. It's pretty even. I think both are really good. I think Sauce Gardner, really good. I think Derek Stingley, really good. Alex on Twitter, at HTownCritic, who we probably don't know the Twitter handle, but we know the face if you spend any time on Twitter. He's that dude that has all those, crazy hypothetical questions that usually trigger fans. He's got a knack for doing that because he's building impressions. Kind of tip my cap to that. He had one out yesterday. Sauce Gardner has now made 2 Pro Bowls and has been named first-team All-Pro. Derek Stingley's made 0 Pro Bowls and has not been named to any All-Pro teams. Did Nick Caserio make the wrong decision, or is the best yet to come for Stingley? Not really interested in that question, although I think it is a fair question. The point here and the takeaway here from a Sauce Stingley debate now versus 365 days ago, everybody in this city was already making a declaration on who was the better player, right? Stingley, Caserio's an idiot. He screwed up. He's stupid. He shouldn't be the general manager. He should be fired because he blew the corner pick by drafting Derek Stingley over Sauce Gardner. Fast forward 365 days. How do you feel about that now?
Yeah, look, I think that once we saw Stingley on the field in a system that was better suited for him, and when he's healthy, we know that he can play. I think going back to draft day, I know I said for sure that if you have 2 guys and they're equally evaluated throughout the process, the sounder decision to me was going with a guy that doesn't have a resume full of any kind of health issues. Take the guy that's healthier, especially a foot injury, because of the fact that you play a position that your feet are so important in. But other than that, you just hoped after that in the conversations that we had subsequently that, hey, you hope when Stingley's healthy, especially with a coaching staff and a defensive scheme that better fits him, that he turns into the player that Nick Caserio saw and thought he was going to be. So far, he looks like he's turning into that player. That doesn't slap Sauce Gardner down a notch. That doesn't say that either one of them right now is better than the other. Last year, there's no doubt because he played more, and then those accolades came with him. Sauce Gardner was a better player. Now, this year, obviously on a bad team, Sauce Gardner still is guarding the best receivers. He doesn't have any picks, but I'm sure defensive coordinators don't want to throw his way a whole lot. So you look at it and say the better story here is Stingley is proving to everybody why he was taken where he was by the Texans.
Yeah, to me, it's not a conversation that I want to have on which one's the better player. I think they're pretty equal. I think that they're pretty comparable. Sauce had a much better rookie year. I think year 2, it's very, very tight. The numbers would favor Stingley because he has the interceptions. A lot of the opinions would favor Sauce because he had the better rookie year. Pro Football Focus, if you believe in that, I don't always. They would say Derek that Sauce Gardner has had the better year. So numbers
This
Stingley,
year?
maybe computers to Sauce. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 86.7 for Sauce, 80.6 for Derek Stingley. Somewhere Lamont's rolling over in his grave. Now, the takeaway, look, Sauce still might be better than Stingley. Like if somebody told me right now Sauce is still better than Stingley, I'd be like, I don't really have an argument against that. You could very well be right. I think that they're comparable, but I'm not going to sit here and argue that Stingley's better than Sauce Gardner because I think they're about the same. And Sauce has had 2 good years, whereas Stingley's had 1 good year. I think Sauce's resume is better than Stingley's resume, if we're being completely honest. The takeaway is, though, stop closing the book on rookies after 1 year. And this works both ways. It works from having a really good rookie season. Sometimes the rookie season's the best season a player's going to have. We bring up Javon Curse whenever we have this conversation. Javon Curse was a beast as a rookie, had a career high in sacks as a rookie. Robert Griffin's a different story because he kind of got hurt. VY was really good as a rookie. I don't think that was his best year, though.
VY really came on and took the league by storm his rookie year, and then he kind of he started falling off, and then in a short time he was basically, and he got into it with Fisher too, but I mean, that was his downfall. His rookie year was, I think it was his best year. Maybe it wasn't, but shortly after that, he fell off the planet.
His rookie year might be a little overrated. His career wasn't great. He was the rookie of the year, but he had more interceptions than he did touchdowns. And his entire career, his second year, he threw for more yards, but he threw for less touchdowns and more interceptions. He got benched in his 3rd year. His 4th year, not very good.
That was about
10
it.
touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and then kind of got benched again. Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a very good career.
No.
But
Remember, after
year
year 1, the Texans made a mistake, and he came here and he won, and everybody was
I don't think his
pumping him
rookie
up.
year was that good, though. I know he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. But whenever you throw more interceptions than touchdowns, like that's...
Do you have a big rushing year?
Probably. He probably had some numbers on the ground. Yeah.
I mean, that probably influenced it as well. But
7 touchdowns on the ground.
He was a popular. His stock was rising from a popularity standpoint. He was oohing and eyeing the Sports Center type plays as well. But then he fell off the planet.
Yeah, to me, whenever I listen to Sauce Stingley, like I'll listen to the Texans fans that, well, Stingley's better than Sauce. Okay, yeah, like that's cool. Like he's got all the interceptions, he's got the picks. Like I can listen to that. I'll listen to the Sauce Gardner side of it. He's great cover guy. They don't throw to him as much. Numbers wouldn't really suggest that. But he's always blankets these receivers.
Longer.
The pass breakups are good. He has the respect because he did have the rookie year. Like to me, it's a half a dozen one way, six the other. 6670. So there's hope for Kenyon Green, Branham. Yeah, I'm not ready to close the book on Kenyon Green. Now, do I think it's a long shot that Kenyon Green's going to add like really good, tangible production to the Houston Texans? Yeah, I think it's a major long shot. But am I completely closing the book on Kenyon Green being a starting left guard for the Houston Texans before he leaves as a free agent, before he's cut? No, I'm not. I still think it's possible.
It's more than possible. It can be plausible. Right. It's not the norm. But sometimes guys need a swift kick and a wake-up call. And they come in and they're so highly regarded and they're a first-round pick and they said this is going to be easy and I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. And then the reality is that you're playing against grown-ass men that are getting a check now too, and they're going to be better than you. And if they are, you better work your tail off to figure out how you can be better. We see so many guys that get cut or struggle or in the wrong system for the first couple years of their career, and then all of a sudden either something clicks with them and or something clicks with the right system and coaching staff, and you see breakout seasons. I mean, Cashman's a guy that bounced around the league. Cashman's having a breakout season this year for the Texans. It's not like all pro or anything like that, but he's raised a lot of eyebrows because I don't think a lot of people, when they brought him in, thought he had that in him. So different guys find it at different times, and they take it to different levels. You hope this is a wake-up call for a guy like Kenyon Green because it's been a massive disappointment.
1317, Brian Cushing sucked after his rookie year. Wonder why. Yeah, but he's really good at coaching select baseball now. He coaches baseball.
And football.
Does he coach football?
Yeah, he coaches his kids' football team. They had video all over the internet a couple weeks ago of the kids' championship highlights.
What are you doing looking at that?
Somehow in my news feed, it popped up that look at Brian Cushing's kids play football.
60-30 can close the book on the Astros. The dynasty's over. Thanks, Crane. I would disagree with that. 1416. Vince Young was always about his win-loss records. Yeah, cool. So was Tim Tebow. 713-780 ESPN. Don't close the book on rookies after a good year, after a bad year. The conversation today, much different in the Sauce Stingley argument than it was. People were ready to fire. They were ready to fire Nick Caserio for drafting Sauce Gardner over Derek Stingley. You fast forward 365 days, all of a sudden it's
don't you feel
Stingley's being snubbed over Sauce?
But don't you also feel like that that was one of those lumped in drafts too, where they coupled Stingley with how bad Kenyon Green's been? I think for the firing Nick Caserio commentary.
I mean, sure, like those things were coupled together, but we've had conversations that were flat out Stingley was the wrong pick over Sauce, like in a vacuum within itself.